Hello and welcome to game two between Gorton and Stefan. The reason you don't get to see the first one is that there were some issues with pausing and dual casting. Alex is in here dual casting
Hey,
this one with me. And this one, the first game was lost by Stefan. It was rather close. He missed some opportunities, but it's a best of five for this Tuesday's championships. So he still has plenty of chances. Gorton once again going to UEF. And actually, one question I have: who is Gorton? You see, what's his previous name? I think
it was at Gorton.
it was
He
what?
was SN Gorton. He's only
Okay.
recently started playing Fab. I think he's.
Yeah, because he's
I
so
don't
he's
remember.
so
It's like
familiar in the way he plays and everything about him.
he's not. He had no clue about this game until I think it was 6 to 1 year ago. 6 months to
Okay.
1 year ago. He's a very new player. He spammed a lot of ladder and he's gotten very good very quickly. So if anyone
Nice.
wants to get really good, you just all
Yeah,
you
actually,
gotta do
it's
is
very
spam
similar
ladder.
for Stefan as well. Um,
Yeah,
it's Cybern versus EF on this one. No floating units from either player. That should be interesting. On this map,
yeah.
the Hydro is a bit far, but second air is quite standard. The expansions are very spread out, so cutting out any engineer that's far away is critical. Looks
Actually,
like
Gorton is gonna walk to the Hydro, no second air
that
immediately
is
after,
very
so that's
unusual.
interesting.
I've never seen that
Yeah,
before.
unlike Gordon, I mean, unlike Stefan, who's going straight to second air. One thing he can do, I know I was talking about this previously on last map, is cut out a P-gen, like
Yes,
probably go
yes.
5 P-gens and then, yeah,
Actually,
because
it
of the
works quite well. For
distance.
five
Yeah,
pigeons and then first two engineers to the Hydro. It's very
yeah,
nice.
and
Um,
I know it's a standard meta for this map. After you build that factory, straight to run right across to
right
that.
across the river into these four mass
Yeah,
structures. Yeah, then with that way you can get, especially if you're Cybern or UEF, is you want to get a foothold on the other side, so you don't have to walk a
yeah.
long ways with your units.
Yeah, then you can get those choke points. This will leave, especially with versus Aeon, that'll leave a huge advantage for Aeon. You really need to secure that, or Aeon or Seraphim, you really need to secure those expansions.
Looks like five
Yeah,
NGs and then Manti coming out for Stefan.
it'll be interesting if Gorton's gonna get any flak out, or does he expect any early air? This is an extremely
Yeah, I
risky
think
build he's doing.
here Stefan is in good position. If he goes heavy bombers here, he can cut out a lot of the expansion. I mean, the engineer either going to the one going to the top or the one going to the bottom. You can get a couple passes with a Cyber Bomber and deny huge amounts because those units that I mean, actually, there's just one factory so far for Gorton. So and that the extra build capacity at the Hydro, that really
Actually,
does
look,
nothing.
if you look at Gordon now, he's getting I think that's the with the drone upgrade. If
Oh,
I'm
he's
not,
getting the drone. He's doing something
yeah, the
really
drone.
funny.
Yeah, he's doing something really interesting.
Drone with no
Maybe
air. If Stefan can spot that drone, it'll be
that'll
absolutely.
be, yeah. Now we see a first scout out and then a
Stefan playing
interceptor.
weak. He needs to go every single time on this map. You got to go scout bomber or bomber
Well,
scout
actually,
interceptors.
yeah, standard wise, but this is gonna be if Stefan scouts that drone and he gets a target on it, that'll be absolutely. It will probably
Yeah, he needs
be
to realize
detrimental.
that it's a
Drones aren't
drone.
that
I don't know. He
expensive.
should see that it's a drone right now if
He's
he's
got the
paying
scout over.
attention.
He's yeah. If he's paying attention, he'll see that drone. The question is, will he send his interceptor right after it?
Yeah.
No, yeah, yeah. There you can see the text.
Why did he
So,
tell him? Oh, what a
yeah,
nice
now
guy.
I'm not sure why he made a drone though, because he can just walk his ACU over to there. Not sure what he was thinking about accomplishing with that. The move command. Oh, looks like he's making a proxy base. Not sure what he's thinking to do with that. He's
That
still
drone's
sitting
gonna
on.
die. I think so far Gorton here, I mean maybe because he's ahead, he's doing crazy things. Although I gotta really blame Stefan here for not, and yeah, that drone is gonna die. Yeah.
And actually, Gordon. I mean, Stefan. He scouted that Gordon had no. Oh, actually, no. I'm sorry. So he still doesn't know if Gordon has
Still no
another air
air factory
factory.
from Gorton.
But yeah, he's gotta
He's gotta
get
switch to
bombers or
bombers.
jesters.
Yeah,
Yeah,
either
he's still making interceptors. It's a
like
little bit of a mistake.
either direction of this expansion is either the two engineers to the top or the engineers to the bottom. They should all be dead instead of making factories. And if you would have prevented the construction of those factories, this game would be completely out of reach for Gordon.
Yeah,
Stefan making his way across now.
Gordon now finishing his second and finally third factory and working on his fourth and fifth. quite far
Yeah.
behind.
Yeah, but he
Actually,
will
no.
catch up with these engineers. These factories are going to be in good position because they're allowed to be built. And Gorton doing unusual things all over the place. He's actually going to challenge Stefan. Stefan will be surprised.
Yeah, so that I'm guessing that's what he was thinking about the drone. Send the drone to the expansion and send his AC over, but is very, very susceptible to being shot down by
Yeah.
interceptors, which air is like basically a must on this map. So I don't understand why
Oh,
you
we
wouldn't
actually
just send
see
a
so much
regular engineer
flack
over
from
there.
Gorton. Gorton very passive. Gordon with
Yeah,
a
he
lot
hasn't
of
even
power
seen a
as well.
bomber though. Yeah, no bomber from Step, so I'm not sure why he's building that flak.
Yeah, not very
And
good.
yeah, he's got a decent eco balance. He just needs some mass. But now he's got actually a lot of excess power, and he still hasn't expanded to the northern expansion.
Yeah, those two
Stefan is working
factories
on
from
that.
Gorton on the right side, those are very good. They're very close to this expansion on the bottom. I think he's going to be in good position to control that. Now the ACUs are going to meet each other. Point defense will now be constructed by Stefan.
One thing that I like to do on this map is it's very easy. Well, as an AM player, it's very easy to defend against other factions. So just kind of wall off these areas with auroras and prevent his ACU from making a very large foothold to the
Yeah,
south. And you
yeah.
can kind of just go heavy teching, which is great once you
I think
blazes
if you
or
get
I guess
even
other
map control
factions.
here, you just got to tech, get tech to
Yeah,
air. Um,
it's very hard to raid unless you go across the water or with
yeah.
air. But air control is not that hard to
But
gain.
early on, cutting out those engineers that are expanding is so huge,
Yeah,
especially on
very
this
very
map,
key.
because the formation of this water really cuts it apart. So the expansion is critical.
Yeah,
Look,
also the distance is pretty large, so the time you spent going over to each expansion is time that you won't waste. And now
Stefan
we can see that
here missing
Stefan.
opportunity to make a point defense, and actually he's going to get into a fight. A lot of units coming in his direction, and
Yeah,
looks
he's gonna
like
be forced off.
we're going to have multiple battles in both corners of the map, similar numbers.
Yeah, we can see the Mantis on the right, the ACs in the center, and the Mantis on the left. Mantis and tanks on the left side, which don't seem to be engaging. Only Arde's shooting at each other right
Yeah,
now.
not
Now
very
that
good
Stefan
micro.
is actually kind of getting blocked somewhat. He could die here, possibly if Gorton does some
Yeah, I
nice
think
blocking action, but
he's gonna get out.
Stefan seems to have gotten away. So
That would have
missed
been
opportunity,
ridiculous.
but nothing too major. Um,
An NG
and
for Gorton is gonna try to steal some stuff. No, it's
he
just.
could probably capture an NG. That'd be quite nice.
Oh yeah,
If
actually,
Stefan could capture.
looks like superior numbers for Gorton. Most of
And it
these
actually
units are
looks like
flak. Yeah,
yeah,
the micro for Stefan hasn't been that good so far, and actually expansion with engineers for Gorton has been superior. But the biggest story so far in this game, I think, is the lack of aggressive air from Stefan. It was completely given away by Gorton. And Stefan did not take
yeah,
advantage, and now Gorton making his way across the river directly into a lot of build capacity of Stefan.
yeah.
Stefan is
That's
massive.
not sure what he thinks he's gonna accomplish. Maybe reclaim a factory, but he'll take a
He's
lot of
gonna
fire. He's
he's
gotta
gonna
move
piss
back
Stefan off here.
by going for the Hydra. The Hydra is not that key of a target though, because there's trees to reclaim. You're gonna have a lot of power spam because there's loads of mexes. So it's not really that big of a target. It's not like Theta where you take out the Hydra that
Yeah,
game.
he's going to
This is
reclaim it, but he will get himself in trouble because the ACU for Stefan is going to be there. It's
yeah.
half
He
health,
can
but
if Stefan blocks, then he
yeah,
can
he
win
needs to block.
this now.
He's
Of
not blocking
events.
properly. Now he's blocking.
Oh, somewhat. Yeah.
And actually here, building up a couple walls and things like that with the ACU would be really nice.
You can
Stefan
actually
needs to
see that
continue to block. He needs to continue to block.
thing that you can do in this situation that I like to do is
Oh,
reclaim the tanks.
yeah, reclaiming
It
tanks is good. Overcharge is good. But Stefan just let him go.
Oh, that's just little really disappointing.
800
But
health. Yeah, 600 health. I think that was
actually,
game over. Stefan had this. But the effect of
easy
this was
win.
that Stefan sent a whole bunch of units back when he should have sent them ahead. And actually, is this the drone? Yeah, the drone for
Yeah,
Gorton on the
making
bottom.
a proxy base. And actually, we can see that Gordon has also went to T2, and he's also secured that expansion on the left side. So
Yeah,
across the board for Gordon
Gorton has
everywhere.
total map control now.
But now that looks
Finally, a
like
gesture.
Stefan has spotted that proxy base. And yeah, that
Yeah.
jester is going to go to work. This is definitely what Stefan needs to do. Get as many jesters out as
We might see a bit of
time.
an air fight, but not Tech 2 land though from Gorton, a couple Tech 2 flags. He's also got a very aggressive Tech 2 engineer, some Sparkies, and map
Yeah, we can see
control.
some
Yeah.
riptides starting to be built up now.
And Riptides dominate on this map. I remember playing EEF way back in the day and just rushing Riptides here. You dominate. You don't have to think too much.
Yeah, basically Auroras, except better blazes essentially, but they are.
Oh, they're much
Yeah.
better. They're more expensive, but they're much better because such high fire rate and
Actually, that was
health.
interesting. I didn't know that Jester could shoot the drone, but apparently he took out the drone in the southern expansion.
Yeah, that is good to know. I know gunships shoot gunships. I guess drone is a
I
gunship.
know gunships do transports too, but that's about it. But now that we could see, Gordon is meaning to build a foothold on the left-hand expansion, so he does have map control right. Well, actually, yeah, he does have map
He's
control
got
right now.
massive
He
map
also
control.
rated. He actually can see kind of a bit of the mastiff right now. He's got 10 extra mass income, a little more than 10 extra mass income.
Gorton on very low health.
No teching from either player, I think. Oh,
Oh,
actually,
some Tech 2 max
I'm sorry,
extractors
no.
from Gorton
Yeah,
and
Tech two from
from Stefan.
Stefan
Sorry, yeah.
Gordon.
Yeah, Gorton doesn't
Gordon
need to
going the
tech. He's got
spam,
map control.
and lots of reclaim the top left
I think if Gorton
expansion.
doesn't lose his ACU here, he's gonna have a huge advantage because he's got Tech 2 land. He's got a very
And
aggressive Sparky. Let's see what that does on the bottom.
one thing I like that Gordon likes to do is use Sparkies to build like forward firing bases, basically T2 PD creeps, all that because of their speed, their stealth, their radar jamming.
Yeah,
But that Sparky's gonna go down quite quickly. Actually,
that's
not.
just a Tech 2.
It's quite quick.
Oh no, that is a Sparky. Yeah, Sparky's run. Oh wow, he just outran a bunch of Manti.
Yeah, I forget the speed. It was like 3 point something, 3.5 or something like that. I know they're very, very
Yeah,
quick. Now we can see rating. Gordon actually, with that factory that he made from
the drone. Yeah.
the drone, yeah, he's taken out that expansion, and he secured the top left one.
We can
So
see in terms of
Gordon board,
expansions, Gorton is way ahead, and in terms of mass production, he's nearly doubling now, and his power is way ahead. I think Stefan really hasn't done anything last couple of minutes. He let that slip away. I think that force that he pulled
yeah,
back was going to go up top on the left side and maybe try to claim back some of the map, but because it was busy trying to kill the ACU, it let Gorton establish a base. And what we've seen from Gorton very good is his use of engineers was superb in this one. His early air and all that crazy nonsense, I think, really put him in a hole. But
yeah,
since then, he
he's
just
dug
took
himself
over.
out. And actually, Gordon doing the right thing now in these situations. You with map control, you always want to start teching because you're gonna have that advantage of that extra
Hmm.
mass, which you can funnel into teching, and then the
Yeah,
normal mass, which you can use for your spam. But actually, Stefan's probably gonna retake that left expansion with that massive mantis force he's got.
yeah.
Actually,
There
there
is
are
some Tech 2
T2 factories,
factories.
yeah,
This could be
and
good if he
T1
followed that up
PD.
with engineers. That's one thing that Stefan really needs to work on is using engineers behind his forces. There's absolutely no engineers on the left side. He's mostly Manti.
Yeah, one thing that I know notice pro players like to do is just have engineers
Yeah, you want to
trail their force
anticipate
to just grab the reclaim.
what are the possible situations on the map that you're going to have after the upcoming battles, and have engineers standing by based on the possible.
Definitely.
I mean, you can give
And
engineers a job to do no matter what's happening.
definitely. And just the most useful unit in the game. And now we can see that proxy bases are being, I mean, those Sparkies are being used everywhere now. One building a proxy base in that
Yeah, some
middle
Tech 2 flak on the
northern
bottom.
expansion. Yeah. So Gordon being absolute nuisance essentially everywhere. Proxy bases everywhere, expansions everywhere. Now that huge reclaim field though, if Stefan's able to grab it, that'll possibly bring him back from this hole he's in right now.
Yeah, I think that
Can
could
use
be a
that to tech.
possibility. Somehow Gorton had a huge power problem. Not sure what he was getting.
Yeah,
But
I'm
I
sure he's
guess he
got.
doesn't have that anymore.
But actually, we can see Stefan has made the transition to T2 air and starting to make Corsairs. So
Oh, yeah, sniping possibility. Yeah, that's
yeah,
definitely something he can try. I mean, he is getting map control back somewhat. He does have issues on the bottom, but he might use his tech to air to clean this up. I mean,
Yeah,
if
you
you
could
would,
also use that to power and definitely some key targets you could hit.
yeah.
It's just like that
Interesting.
T2P
There's
gen.
stationary tech to flag from Gorton. It's very expensive. It's not
Yeah,
that
also
good.
not very efficient. Yeah, you
Yeah,
can
I
get a
think.
parashield and a stationary mobile flag and just protect that
Yeah,
very easily. But there you see that little battle on the southern side that looks like Stefan will win.
yeah. I
Gonna
think he
leave
had a
him
little
some
better micro on this one.
reclaim.
Yeah, he is getting some
Yeah,
tech to land with some rhinos.
yeah, Rhino's extremely deadly. I know something that Zlo mentioned was that Rhinos are good, not that good because of how expensive they are, but see in this game.
Oh no, rhinos
Um,
are I think probably the best tech to tank currently. For what it
I
does,
would
they
say Obsidians, but
depends.
it's all
Obsidians have such low fire rate.
yeah,
And they're more expensive. They're 360 mass. Rhino, I believe, is
true.
only
Plus the
300.
power you need.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
but now it's
287.
actually a bit of a slow point in this game. In this situation, with like looks like if you're Gordon right now, you have actually yeah,
I
you have a small eco map control advantage. What would you do in this
I
situation?
think I'm looking at what I would do if I was Stefan. I think Gorton, it's pretty straightforward. Stefan's
Yeah,
actually in good position. If he had engineering, he can take over the whole left side of the map, secure it, and with tech to air, he can easily kill everything on the bottom. So he can win map control back here with what
yeah.
he has.
Corsairs and
Yeah,
their
he
T2
would
air
just need to snipe
gunships
that
and
tech to
Corsairs.
flak, and everything else would be very much vulnerable. One thing, very big weakness in Gorton's game, his lack of air and lack of scouting is really what you got to go for.
Yeah, scouting definitely a key thing you need. But
Yes, for people who are gonna play him next week, next Tuesday, when he's gonna defend his title, I mean, make sure that you abuse this fact that Gorton doesn't make air, and Gorton is gonna have to work on that.
yeah, I know he really isn't fond of air T1 air, especially with the UEF bomber. But yeah, we'll see how that
Yeah.
turns out. But now we can see that Gordon has transitioned into T2 air and is building gunships. I'm not sure if that's a good idea though, because he does need map control really to use. I mean, I'm sorry, air control to really use those. Um,
Gunships are
Stefan's
nice. They're,
basically
they're also transports, so that's a good thing about them.
yeah. Oh yeah, you can transport engineers are definitely very useful units. And
Yeah.
you can see it looks like Stefan's just planning for a snipe. He's got Torp bombers and Corsair bombers. Nothing. He's not
One
really
key thing about doing
doing
snipes
anything
is you want to
else.
have be doing something else while you're sniping. You want to the advantage that
Yeah,
you
yeah,
get by having the enemy attention somewhere else is just huge. And it looks like Gorton here is going to be forced back into the water as gunships coming in are going to clean up.
yeah. We
Yeah.
now see an airfight over Stefan's base. I actually see those Corsairs are probably going to tank a lot of that fire. That's one
Yeah,
useful thing.
they have pretty good health, but they're actually not that good. Their DPS against air is quite low. They're very good at bombing. They drop bombs much better than either the Janus bombers or the Seraphim bomber. But
And now we can see
and
snipe
actually
attempts.
here, I think the Corsairs needed to attack ground, even though it's pretty
Yeah,
deep water. I think you could have done it. Uh, because those torpedo
possibly.
bombers just don't have the DP damage. I think it's about
Yeah, they're not
500 damage
T3.
per pass, and they're gonna get
They're going
killed.
to be quickly taken out. And Gorton's sitting on, I think, T2 engineering, if I'm not correct. Yeah, he's sitting on T2 engineering, so he's going to have a nice regen and that little extra
And
3,000
one thing that
health.
we're noticing, the air factory for Stefan was off this whole time. Now it's back on. I think if Stefan would have made a couple more torpedo bombers, he could have really made this interesting. But with 7,000 health, you really need at least 10 torpedo bombers in one pass, and you gotta get lucky.
Yeah, and in this situation, I don't really know what Stefan could do. He doesn't have any
I
mass
think
income,
he's done.
power. Yeah,
I think he's
at
gonna
this
go
point, I'll just
down two
okay.
games.
Yeah, now he's going for T3 on his ACU. Not sure what he's going to try
And I
and do
think
with that.
in both games, Stefan had good opportunities to win. We didn't see the first one, but people can watch that replay. I'll put a link with the replay numbers for that one. I think he had really nice opportunities in that one. He gave away, and same in this one. And yeah, now it's basically a formality. I think Stefan, he's getting something in the middle, but gunships and total air control. And when Gorton has air control against you, you know you're pretty much screwed.
Yeah, you basically,
Interesting.
yeah,
There's
take an air.
artillery, Kinkhammer, and this is one of the units I really like. The Tech Artillery, one of the most underused units. People are afraid because it's 2,000 um, mass, and I think people try to use it a little
Yeah,
too early. But it's very good on maps if you can get a good position somewhere in the middle of the map where you can hit multiple targets. And it's in those games where it's an eco race. Those units can really win you a lot of map control, can deny a lot of areas, and different factions have slightly different abilities. For a Cybern, just have huge splash, can deny a lot of reclaim, deny engineers. Aeon can really snipe structures. UEF overall, I think, is the best. I'm not really sure about the Seraphim one.
for static arty, Aeon definitely best for DPS and accuracy, but UEF I think it has better splash if I'm not correct.
Yeah, yeah.
Might be
The
wrong on
Aeon
that.
splash is just non-existent. It's all about that. That one's about sniping things.
Yeah,
Aeon, yeah,
definitely for it's great for taking out structures.
yeah. Very good
Uh,
against shields.
yeah, yeah. Actually, I remember doing some testing. The Aeon already takes out, knocks down shields much quicker than any other faction.
Yeah, it's about 3,000
But
damage per 20 seconds.
definitely
And
arty, if you can stick it in good positions, can do quite a lot of
together
damage.
with cruise missiles, and I think with Aeon, because they don't have the Tech 2 bomber to take out
Yeah,
TMD, that RD is what you got to go for. And if you think about 2,000 mass later on in the game, is not that big a deal, as we're seeing Gorton absolutely demolish here.
yeah.
I
If you
feel
think about
really
it too,
bad for
that's
Stefan. I really wished he would have won this if he would have did proper blocking.
he had the opportunity. Definitely had the opportunity.
Would have made this a
Mass
much
wise
better
too, an
series.
obsidian's probably like 300 to 400 mass. It's about like
360 mass, yeah.
360 mass. I'm sorry. So it's about 5 to 6 obsidian. So
Yeah,
it's not
Obsidians
that much
in a
mass.
battle versus other tanks, they win because it's I mean versus other Tech 2 tanks, but
Definitely.
they do have some weaknesses that yeah, their fire rate is very low, their range is very low. Um,
That's where you throw in shields and hope for the best.
Shields, Tech 2 flak, and Tech 1 arty. It's a
Tech
very
one
nice
already
mix.
definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's also if you get in some roars in there, then they'll deal with all the T1 and can't really do much against that. But
Yeah. So I
yeah,
think this is
interesting
pretty much
game.
over. We'll load up the second one, and yeah, I'll probably just
All right.
pause it here. We don't need to wait for the explosion. Now, hello and welcome to Game 3 between Stefan and Gorton. Stefan here must win for this series to continue. Gorton won 2 games. I think he gave chances to Stefan that he didn't take. And let's see if Gorton does strong air on this map. Loki, I think you got to go second air. Sometimes people go third air. But let's see, what did Alex do on this one?
This one, Loki, definitely a map I'm not very fond of
I
at
mean,
it,
you're
but
Aeon, you should be.
yeah. But yeah, definitely second air is key on this map because those expanding energies so easy to pick off. Also, you just need it to scout out to see for any raids, look for any of that stuff.
Yeah,
You
early
don't want to end up
intel is
ignoring.
huge.
Yeah.
And I think on this one, getting this Hydra with first engineers is a good possibility. And you can
Oh,
go a little
that.
less pigeons.
Yeah, I usually send my first engineer to the left expansion so I can get that upper expansion and way top left quickly as
Mm.
possible.
Especially
Gorgon's
if you
gonna be
don't have
sing.
floating units, you want to go
Yeah,
very strong. Sometimes people send the ACU there, but I think the best path for the ACU, I mean, you have 3 different paths. One going, if you're going from Gorton's base, is just going to the right to get the bottom right corner, or you can go to the top left, or you can go straight up to the 3 mass extractors past the mountain and then across.
yeah,
And I
that's what I
really
like to
think
do.
that's
Yeah,
to go aggressive. Actually, there's 4 different ways. You can go to the 3 mass extractors and then go up, or you can
at their
go
expansion.
straight across. And I think some of the top players, that's exactly what they do. You put so much pressure.
Yeah, yeah. You when you go to the middle, you kind of secure that with your AC early on, and that allows you the opportunity to secure and send your ACU up there. So it's kind of a late secure of that top left expansion. But
A bit of
also one thing,
reclamation from Stefan here. Those rocks are, I think, they're not huge. I think we'll see how much reclaim he's
they
getting.
definitely support your early eco if you want to do anything interesting. But one
Yeah.
thing that I haven't ever tried, but I know that these trees right above your or right below Stefan or above
Yeah,
Gordon,
those are pretty good. If you don't break
yeah,
those, you can do the
lots
same tricks as on
of power.
6.
Yeah, you can build air factories probably with less P-gens again, similar to the
Yeah, I think
previous two
I
maps.
like
It's
to get
just
those a little later on. The first 5 engineers, I like to send out to do expansion work. Maybe one of those to assist the ACU, and then it's good to send an engineer together with a power spam and an air spam, and on a factory attack move, it can get a whole bunch of these trees, and they'll really prevent a lot of power stalls.
yeah, definitely it's helpful for supporting yourself when you have those power stalls. I know Tex told me that
There's a
every time I
big
try and
land
stream
spam coming
Loki.
up from Stefan. And one thing in this map, it's there's a lot of terrain in this, the different passages and different cliffs. Placement of those factories becomes critical. Some people like to build those land factories kind of ahead of those 3 mass extractors by the mountain. Some people like to put them
Yeah,
by the pond. I don't think it's really good to put them back way in your base because it's a very long path for them to come out.
it's good early on, allowing for early lots and lots of early spam. But yeah, once you get to the later stages, it's just that the
Yeah.
distance is just a pain in the ass to cover. But
If
you can
you're
see that
Cybern, you can play like Yon in this one, where Yon takes the ACU straight across with a massive Mantis spam. It works pretty well, but I'm pretty sure Yon takes those and puts him a little further up ahead, not inside of his base. But it actually
a little
worked quite well
disappointed.
because the ACU for the other player might leave the main base, and then you just walk directly into it.
And I'm actually a little disappointed by Stefan's lack of aggressive air. So
Yeah.
even though this map is perfect for the mechs is just so outlying that it's just killing those NGs is just absolutely
Yeah, I hope
detrimental
that's
early
one
on.
thing that he learns from these last 2 casts is that he must be more aggressive with air, and well, that's one thing you might learn from somebody like Deathly, who will spam bombers even if he doesn't have air control. The only way to stop him from spamming bombers is to put interceptors over his air factory. And that's one of the reasons to actually put your units over the enemy air factory. And that's one thing in this game that's psychological. Sometimes people really feel very defensive of their units and feel like they're safer back home than they're like way inside enemy's base. That's not necessarily the case. Sometimes units can be very safe away from base because people don't expect them to be there. And another thing is that the radar coverage is actually, especially 10 by 10 maps, is very poor. And a lot of times you can,
Yeah,
yeah, it's you don't want
I
to,
kind of noticed that
yeah.
with pros, they don't really like radar.
Yeah, one player I really like. There's 2 players I really love to watch for radar positioning, Petrich and Deathly. They have some weaknesses in some things, but the way they place radar is you can see if you just look at the radar overlay how they cover different parts of the map and how they play with it. It's really quite nice.
Definitely, and now we can see that Gorton has decided to move to the top left expansion with his ACU
Yeah,
land factories plant. He will run into a Mantis force, but he'll be able to clean that up quickly. And now we can see that
yeah.
Stefan
Your
has
mic is going
decided
kind of
to
crazy.
really.
Yeah, it's fine usually, but then sometimes you I don't know what happens. But
Let me just fix that.
yeah, it's fine
Is
now.
it any better right now?
Yeah,
All
it's
right. So
fine.
yeah, Stefan is now moving to the southern expansion, just trying to secure that, kind of doing that more like pro style, I guess.
Yeah, he's got an
With
engineer here
this,
that's grabbed the 4 mask structures. It's nice, but it's very exposed. And both
yeah,
players kind of running in that single line, which is not very good.
definitely or unit formation, definitely not something you want to keep in mind.
Especially as Cybern,
What's
because the units are so quick, the formations become critical. If you watch Yon, or his micro of Mantis is just amazing. Uh, there's quite a few things you can do with a micro on this. And I don't know if a lot of people know, if you hold down the left key when you select, or sorry, the right key, you can take different formations. There's usually 2 formations that you can
I didn't
choose.
know that.
Um,
I knew about the formation, but I
and
didn't know you could can alter it?
And there's things you can do with the middle click as well.
I didn't know that.
And one of the
But
important things, if you hold down the right key to get the formation, you can rotate the formation, so you can choose which directions the units are facing. And
yeah, that's definitely a useful feature.
it becomes very critical with something like Cybern.
You can now see that Gorton has gotten his first T2 mechs.
Yes.
Stefan is in the process of getting his. I
Yeah.
kind of look at the map control right now. We can see that it's pretty even, but Stefan might get a expansion if he walks his ACU over there. There is a PD, but if he gets some Medusas, he can probably
he's
secure
got
it.
one in the area if he can hold on to it. He does not want to run in head first here. He might hurt himself, but if he plays this right, he can be in pretty good shape. The ACU for Gorton at the same time being quite aggressive.
Yeah, he's scaring off those mantis, getting factories planned, so he'll definitely secure that expansion.
And
So
Stefan not taking the
Stefan's-
Hydro, which I think is quite bad.
Yeah, that's extremely a very very efficient piece of power source.
Very
I
nice
think it
move
was
from Stefan with on the top left corner after the ACU left. He's going to take out a whole bunch of mass extractors in a factory.
definitely it's a huge nuisance from him.
It looks like Stefan hurt himself a bit.
Definitely, yeah. And only one Medusa in there, so probably not going
One
to take out
Medusa is
that
enough
PD.
with a little luck. And I think a Raider here would be really nice from Stefan. And on
Yeah,
this
take a
map,
look at that.
because of all this terrain, people tend to get lost. That's why a lot of people don't like this one, is because they just don't know what the heck is going on. This is where radar and really
Yeah.
knowing the map becomes critical.
I know that ledge right in the middle, a little south or I guess north of the expansion with the 3 mechs. You can stick a radar up there that gives nice coverage of the
I remember
middle.
Noob Fried Rice used to play this map a lot with Cybern. He would abuse this spot, put stealth here and put cruise missiles, and that's a really good place to put cruise missiles. You can reach the enemy base.
Alright, I know that's actually to keep in mind. But yeah, now Sven's basically cleared up that expansion.
Yeah, I think this
The
move
top
from
left
Stefan
wall.
where he
Gorton's gonna be
killed
forced to move back.
yeah, that is keeping Stefan in the game because Gorton otherwise is a bit ahead. And Stefan here needs to play very well with his ACU not to lose the bottom right corner. If he can hold on to the bottom right corner, he's actually in good shape. And no point defense has been completed by Gorton by his ACU. So I think Stefan, with the correct scouting, he is sending his air there. He can take care and just avoid the ACU, kill everything else. So far, Stefan
can see
playing quite
that.
well.
Yeah, you can actually see the move. Now he's moving straight back into that expansion, so that's an excellent play from him.
Yeah, this is where air is so critical. Stefan using it much better. I think Gorton here, just like in the previous game, is not doing too much scouting, not using his air. He does have a pretty big air force, but he's not using it.
But actually now he's going to T2 air, so gunships could come and play if he is able to secure.
Oh yeah, this
Your
could be
air.
nice. And actually, looking at Gorton, at first I thought he was Colonel Shepard. I don't know, because he's UEF and he plays similar rating. But I guess
Yeah,
he's
he's
not. And I haven't seen Colonel Shepard
new
for a
player.
while, which kind of is sad.
I'm not sure what he's doing right now. I know he checks the form every few times, but
Yeah, that's one player we can't lose. He made that awesome series of the awesomeness. I'd love to see
yeah,
some
especially
more
also
stuff.
his tutorials too.
Yeah, is a huge contribution to the community.
Now we can see
Stefan
that,
getting an upgrade, getting hit by artillery. You do not want to get hit by UEF artillery because each one of those
600 damage per shot, yeah.
Oh, and 4 of those, you can do that math.
That's gonna take a
2400.
huge amount of his health.
Stefan needs to just
Wait.
stop. Or yeah, I mean he can force those away.
That's
But
still a huge chunk of his health. That's also another
very vulnerable. I
few
see
more
here.
shells. Yeah, that was
Yeah, UEF already is
3600.
nothing to mess with. A ghetto, tech to ghetto being prepared
drop.
by Gorton. You can see a whole bunch of mech marines. This is why I think he's
Oh, the
similar
ghetto,
to
okay.
Colonel Shepard. I think
a
Stefan
little bit
here
of cheese.
has outplayed in terms of map control, but a lot of more teching for
He's got to
Gorton.
cancel that upgrade.
And why
It's-
isn't those
it's not
units?
worth
Why
it
aren't
at that
those
point.
units protecting him? His units abandoned him, and I think he canceled at
Gorton's
the very
got
end.
a move in. Yeah, that was actually a good move from Gorton. You can actually see that the map control kind of shifted from vertical standpoint to a horizontal standpoint
Yeah,
as Gorton was kind of forced into the water and Stefan's now forced
but here
back.
comes the ghetto.
Oh, that might be the end of this game if Stefan isn't able to defend. He only has three. Oh no, he's got a few interceptors. But one thing that Gordon should do
Oh,
beforehand
19
is
kills
clear
in
the air.
veteran C. But
But that,
good
yeah, that,
move with the air. He's protecting his ghetto very nicely. And Stefan, I think
yeah,
even without the ghetto, he would have died. Um,
but yeah, that's a game right
Unfortunate
there.
mistake from Stefan, I think. I think upgrading the place where you upgrade your ACU is critical. I think he was very close to the pond. You got to use that pond and upgrade in there. So three
Actually, if you look
nothing.
at yeah, and Stefan taking a more of a yawn style approach, lots and lots of spam. If he just had
He just
a
wasn't
good
as
unit
aggressive
control,
as Jan. Yeah,
yeah,
I think
good unit
he
control
should
in the
have went
north.
directly at the base of
Yeah,
Gorton. He could have
definitely.
some luck.
He should have done what he did in the north, just to use that to secure the southern expansion, or yeah, be aggressive straight towards the base. He had used to secure the expansions, but
I think yeah, this
yeah,
is the end of this
it's a
series.
game.
There will be another similar championship Thursday, and hopefully there's going to be a good challenge to Gorton. There is really no limitation to who can join, except that you have to be able to play on Tuesdays, and yeah, we'll choose whoever we want to play. And yeah, I think I'll just pause this now.